Hello, everyone. Richard here. I just wanted to make a quick update on how people are doing as they compete with each other, and the data set has gotten more sophisticated. Not more sophisticated. I have more data points, and Bricata had come up with an idea to normalize across modes how people are doing relative to each other and relative to, let's say, a computer that was playing an average at an average rate in an average way. Um, he had put some growth rates in here that were estimates from my pivot tables. I kind of made an update and made an approximate adjust. I had added Sorens data to the set, and I'm adding my Rommel playthrough to this data set, and I have and I have this update on growth rates that we seem to be averaging. So in 1939, in general, regardless of mode, we are pulling about a 14.5% growth rate. And then it falls precipitously in 1940, and it falls a little bit more in 41. Don't worry about 1942. I haven't really done a whole lot with that. So this base growth, so his idea was, let's give everyone the same starting prestige, and then multiply that by how much we grew our prestige from one scenario to another. And this baseline, this blue line, that's just taking 500 prestige and multiplying every scenario by that for all time. Eventually, we'll have a more accurate picture of what the average growth rate across the whole campaign will be. It probably will be something like 3 or 4%, and then you're going to see 500 prestige grow by 3 to 4% every scenario, and it's going to have this beautiful quadratic shape. The rest of us, if I scroll over here, we have our data. We're pulling from the other sheets. We all start with 500 prestige. It could be anything, and then we're just taking that and multiplying it, starting in scenario 2, because we don't have a growth rate for scenario 1, multiplying that by our growth rate. And we're doing that for everybody. Manstein's weak right now because he's at Calais. I'm not messing around with Goose's ultimate mode anymore. I'll wait till he finishes 1940 before inputting the data. And then I've added Soren. So this is, and the results are over here. And there's some interesting things to point out. So this blue line is if some AI was playing Panzer Corps and they were growing at the same rate every scenario. They were the AI was mechanical, and it was making relatively optimal moves, let's say. This is dependent on the human players, how we have done over time in the scenarios. Assuming that these are the best players of Panzer Corps, we take an average of their growth rate, that's going to be applied to this blue line. Then the base adaptive is just adjusting the growth rate depending on the year, and we have different growth rates, and that line is this red one. Obviously, with an adaptive growth rate, it's going to grow lower in later years. You can see that. That's the right color, right? Yes. I'm just a little, this is right. This is base, and this is base. Why is it not intersecting in the first year? Oh, that's right. That because we took an average of each of these to get 8.5, and then the base adaptive is using 14.5. Okay, so because the growth rate was 14.5%, we're seeing it's growing at a higher rate in the early war years, and then it crosses in 41 at some point. And then after that, the growth rate's smaller in 41 compared to the overall growth rate. The gap is going to get bigger and bigger. Okay, so that's like imagining a machine playing Panzer Corps. How is everyone else doing? So my double Rommel is this gold color. I think this is me. I'm outperforming blue for a while, but as you can see, with an adaptive growth rate, I'm always falling behind. Then I catch up a little bit. Then I fall behind. Yeah, things are getting hard. Then there is Bricada's Rommel. He is riding above the adaptive. He's doing very well. That green line, he's riding right above it. And then he fell behind in 41 behind the uniform base growth rate. Vital Cleese is orange. Why is that acting funny? Oh, something's going on. I can fix this. Wait, why is that? G29. Huh, I wonder what happened here. G29 times... did this disappear? Wait, undo. What is happening? Did I click on something and then it like reran the calculations, but... Oh, no, I want that put back. What is happening here? Why is it going bonkers? I'm just checking something. That looks... Did something happen with his sheet? Maybe I should check that. It's all here. Sometimes I've noticed Google Sheets is a lot more buggy than Excel Sheets, and I have to like close it down before it corrects itself. But anyway, that's really weird. Okay, he was doing very well, like mostly a little bit behind Bricada, and then I think he had a little surge near the end of 41. Then Deductor is this light blue. He's not doing well. He's playing a double Rommel, and he's way behind. And then he has this gap that's getting bigger. Then there's the Manstein from Bricada. That ends here. That will get added to more and more. You can see he's doing very well relative to the base adaptive and the base growth rate. My Rommel playthrough, this is funny because I haven't done Kharkov yet, but my Rommel playthrough is this gold line. I'm outperforming, what is that, base adaptive? Yeah, I'm outperforming base adaptive. Not really outperforming. I'm following pretty closely up to what looks like Mehuej, where that scenario right after Sedan. And then, oh no, wait a minute, that's the wrong line. This is base adaptive. I'm doing better than base adaptive by 1940, and then I'm outperforming it all the way. You can see that not only am I outperforming the adaptive growth rate, but I'm actually increasing the gap between me and the adaptive growth rate. And then the base growth rate that doesn't adjust starts outperforming me right at Streets of Moscow. But it's not huge. But I wanted to also add Sorens playthrough. And Soren, you can see he rides pretty close with a lot of people. And then by 1940, the gap opens up. And then he's just outperforming everybody. He's outperforming a generic, assuming 8.5% growth rate every scenario. He's outperforming that. It's getting tight up here. but he's doing very, very well. And if you're interested in the raw numbers, I can provide that. So let me look at my Rommel real quick. I am at, ignore this, I'm at Kharkov. I haven't done this yet. So my total core value at Vitebsk was 52,941. My core value is 17,000 something. That's not too different from my double Rommel. We can look at that. Let's see, my double Rommel. Oh, my double Rommel. Okay, so my core is tighter. I have like 1,000 less prestige invested in my core. But it's still pretty similar, and you can see that I have 20,000 more core value playing on Rommel compared to double Rommel. And then let's look at Soren. He has at Kharkov 54,000. Actually, he's outperforming me at Kharkov. I was outperforming him a smidge at Vitebsk, but he at Kharkov outpaces me. Oh, I haven't done Kharkov yet. That's right. I don't think I've inputted the changes yet. But I was outperforming him a smidge at Vitebsk. And he probably is outperforming me at Kharkov, and it only gets worse. You can see, look at his core value. Goes up by 4,100, and then 1,700, 2,000, 2,300. What is that? 2,500. He just explodes. He has 61,000 prestige at the start of Tansankaya. If you look at Idocles, let's see. At Kharkov, he has 42,808 core value. So he's about 12,000 prestige behind Soren. So he's getting blown out, and this issue is going to get really, really severe by Stalingrad. This gap that you see, that's like 12,000, it's going to be substantially higher than that by the time I put the info in for Stalingrad. And then Bracada is over here. Boop, boop, boop. Let's scroll down. He's playing with an historic core. His core is about 14,000. He has 40,700 total core value. And that's with an historic core losing units left and right, which has cost him money. But he's clearly falling behind as well. And I'm at like 51,000 at Vitebsk. So I'm outperforming them. There's a couple of things about that, though, you have to be careful about. I force loaded SE units in 39 and sold them. I also start with 550 more core value in Poznan because my units in general are more valuable than their units because they're worth more because I'm playing with Deductor's mod. The other thing is because I'm playing with Deductor's mod, capturable T-34s and KVs are worth probably at least twice as much as in the base game. So I've gotten all those units and I'm selling them. So it's like I'm getting 2 capturable units for every capturable unit. So, you know, how much is that translating to? It's probably like 6,000 or 7,000 extra prestige in my pocket, or 6,000 or 7,000 extra core value at least. So let's see. I'm sitting at like 51,000, right? And let's give them 41,000. So probably 70% of my overperformance has nothing to do with how I've performed. It's just I'm getting more prestige for selling capturable units, and I force loaded SE units to be sold in 39. So I'm outperforming them, but it's not huge, is the way I'll put it. And I'm just curious. So he has 14,000, and then Idocles, he has a lot of core value. He has 19,000. Keep in mind, about 3,000 of that is probably just units he has that he doesn't want to sell. He's very protective of his Air Force. For whatever reason, he likes having a lot of air units. And Soren, his core value is hello. at Byte Bisc is 14,685. His core is tighter. Now, what I think is interesting is we're both running about the same number of units. If I check 40, he's running 47 units and I'm running 49, I think. So we both have really tight cores, but this is it's gonna get even tighter because we're not buying a bunch of units. We've bought all our units. The last fresh green unit I bought was Bridge Engineers at The Hague. Like, I'm not even kidding. That's the last time I bought a fresh unit, and ever since then I've done upgrades, but I haven't, I haven't been buying anything fresh. And the biggest difference between overall core composition between me and Soren is I have one fewer level bomber, one fewer tactical bomber, two more infantry. He upgraded his Toad anti-tank to a Stug, and I'm going to keep mine Toad. I think he has 2 scout cars, but I'm using the Panzer II scout car, and I think he's using the half-track scout car. I think we both have 2 Panzer IIIs and 4 Panzer IVs, and I think our infantry is a little different. Let's take a look. I don't have paratroopers, and I have 2 mountain units. He has 3. I have, like, at this point, I think I have 5 grenadiers, and he has a couple of Weimar. He's going to upgrade these eventually. He's already nervous about how they're performing, so I think in 43 he'll upgrade them. So I think I have 0 of these, 5. I think I have 5 grenadiers, 2 mountain units, 1 bridge engineer, none of these. I also have a cavalry unit, and I have 2 pioneers. He does not. So I have a more diverse infantry corps. And we both had 288 guns, but I think at Byte Bisc he upgraded one to a 7.2. So he has 1 more of those than me, but we still have the same number of anti-aircraft guns. We both kind of agree that we should have 4. I just happen to have 2 amazing 88 guns and 2 mobile AA. And we have the same number of fighters. I actually find Panzer Corps works better with fewer fighters, especially if you're deploying traditional corps. You don't have room to deploy a lot of fighters, so you better learn how to play with fewer fighters. So I was doing that in 1941, and it's helping me in 1942. So there you have it. If you're not following Sorens' playthrough, you really should, because it's something I wish I could do, but I don't think I have the skill to pull it off. I mean, you can see he's outperforming a base adaptive growth rate in 1942. He has 61,000 starting prestige at Tatsunkaya, and when you realize that you're considered to be doing fairly well, like you're probably at a self-sufficient pace if you're at 30,000 prestige, at the start of 43, he's going to have more than double that at the start of 43. And if he breaks soft cap in 42, it's only by a little bit. He rarely is below 90%. I don't even know if he got below 95%. But so keep in mind that's partly explaining his huge growth rate as well. He's got his soft cap is almost 100%. So I just wanted to make that update, and I'm tracking things. It's just crazy looking at this chart. I'll have to figure out, like, wait a minute. Okay, yeah, something happened to Idlecles here. I'm not sure, but maybe I just need to close Google Sheets, because it does this. It just blows up for some reason. Anyway, until next time, Richard out.